The first thing I noticed was the shoes by the door. Not hers. Size 11. Mud on the soles. Too big for Alara. Too small for her brother. And no, we don't have guests. Not since she said, "This place is our quiet little universe." Right. I bent down, touched the heel of one, still warm. Still damp. Someone was here. I didn't make a sound. Just walked through the apartment like it was an open grave. Her coat was gone. Our bedroom door was half shut, and it's never half shut. It's either closed for privacy or wide open when she's on one of her "let's cleanse the energy" kicks. I pushed it open. Empty. Bedmate. No sounds. But her perfume still hung in the air like a lie. Then I saw the note on the kitchen counter. It wasn't dramatic. Just one of those sticky pads from her office drawer. I hope I find someone normal. No greeting. No signature. No bye. I don't know what was louder, the sound of my heartbeat or the silence around it. I stared at that yellow square like it was a crime scene photo. And maybe it was. She didn't say goodbye. She just left. Or maybe she didn't. Because those shoes were still there. And so was her best friend's phone on the couch. Lit up. 10 missed calls. All from her. I didn't even sit down. I just opened the front door and waited. Not 5 minutes later, I heard footsteps coming back up the stairs, fast. I braced myself. It wasn't her. It was Kala, her best friend. And she was crying. "Lyle," she said. I didn't know she'd actually do it. I thought it was just a joke. I thought she was just being Alara. Then she looked me dead in the eye and added, "But I think she planned this. And I think she wanted you to find the note, right before what's about to happen next." Kala stepped inside, without waiting for an invitation. She looked shaken, like she'd just walked out of a car crash she wasn't even driving. Her eyes were red, but not from sobbing. It was that dry kind of panic, the kind that happens when your brain is racing faster than your mouth. "She left?" she asked again. I just pointed to the note still on the counter. Kala picked it up, stared at the 5 words like they were cursed, then dropped it like it burned her fingers. "She actually said it," she whispered. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand answers. But I couldn't even form a full sentence. So I just asked the dumbest question imaginable. "What does it mean?" Kala looked at me like I was a child. Not in a cruel way. More like I was the last person in the room to get the joke, and the punchline was already destroying everything. "It means," she said slowly, "she's been planning this for weeks." That didn't make sense. Just the night before, Alara and I watched a documentary about volcanoes. She fell asleep on my shoulder. She laughed at my stupid comments about magma. She kissed my cheek and said she was glad I made popcorn without butter this time. "You think she planned to just walk out?" I asked. Kala didn't answer right away. She pulled out her phone, typed in her passcode, and handed it to me. "Look," she said. I didn't want to get involved. But she used my apartment last week. Said it was for a work thing. I didn't think twice. But then I saw this. The screen was open to her photo gallery. There were pictures. Not many. Just 3. But that's all it took. Alara. On Kala's couch. In Kala's hoodie. Lying across a stranger's lap. His face wasn't visible, but his hand was. Tattooed fingers. A wedding band on the wrong hand. A beer can in the other. And her smile. Wide. Careless. Familiar. Like she hadn't smiled that way around me in years. I handed the phone back slowly. "I don't get it," I said, hearing my own voice crack. "If it's over, why not just tell me?" Kala bit her lip. Her voice dropped low. "Because it's not over for you. But for her, this was the softest exit she could manage. She thought the note would make you blame yourself. She thought you'd spiral, and she could vanish without guilt." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it felt like if I didn't, I'd scream. "She really said I was a glitch?" Kala nodded. "She also said you were too safe. That you made her feel like her life was already over." I sat down. Hard. Like my legs gave up. And that's when Kala finally told me the part one wasn't ready for. "I wasn't supposed to come here," she admitted. "I was supposed to cover for her. But I couldn't. Not after what she said about you. Not after what she planned next." I looked up. What did she plan? Kala hesitated, then leaned in, voice trembling. She told him, the guy she's with, that you wouldn't take it well. That if you snapped, it wouldn't be her fault. She even rehearsed what she'd tell the police. She rehearsed what she'd tell the police? Kala nodded without blinking. That you were obsessive, controlling, that you'd made threats. She even asked if I could confirm it if things got messy. I just sat there, stunned. Kala's voice didn't shake. It wasn't dramatic. She wasn't fishing for sympathy. She was just tired. like she'd been holding on to something radioactive for too long, and now her hands were burned from it. I thought she was joking, she added. But then she gave me lines. Actual sentences. Word for word. She said, if Lal starts asking questions, just say he gets weird sometimes. Like he stares too long or talks in loops. I felt sick. That's exactly what I do when I'm overwhelmed. I repeat myself. I obsess. I pace. I never thought it made me dangerous. But now I realized she did. Or at least, she wanted someone to believe I was. That's why she left her shoes out, I said under my breath. Kala looked confused. I explained about the unfamiliar men's shoes by the door, the ones I noticed earlier. At first, I thought they belonged to a guy she snuck in, but now I wasn't sure. What if she planted them? I said. To make me paranoid? To mess with my head? Kala's eyes widened, slowly connecting the dots. She wanted to rattle you, she said. Push you to act out. I stood up, pacing now, the very thing she'd probably describe as looping. I could almost hear her voice in my head. See? This is what I mean. He spirals over nothing. This wasn't a breakup. This was a setup. And the most messed up part? I think she was counting on me doing exactly what I was doing now. Second-guessing everything. Thinking I was losing it. That she was right. That I wasn't normal. Kala broke the silence again. There's more, she said. She said you'd probably try to win her back. And if that didn't work, she said she hoped you'd just disappear quietly. I barely slept that night. Kala stayed until after midnight, mostly just sitting across from me while I paced holes into the carpet. Every time I thought I'd hit the bottom of this whole thing, she dropped something worse. Like Alara hadn't just left me. She'd lit the bridge behind her and left a sign saying I did it. Around 1 a.m., I asked Kala the one question I'd been avoiding. Who is he? She didn't answer right away, just looked down at her chipped nail polish and said, someone she met at that retreat last month. I remembered the one, the creative rebirth, weekend upstate. No phones, no photos, no contact. Just a digital detox for personal growth. I'd even helped pack her bags. I put her journal and her favorite pen in the side pocket like some kind of sitcom husband. Meanwhile, she was out there rebirthing her exit strategy. He's not even her type, Kala muttered. But I think that was the point. He's loud. He doesn't ask questions. And he thinks anger means passion. I clenched my jaw. So, she traded safety for chaos. No, Kala said. She traded accountability for distance. This guy doesn't know you. He only knows what she told him. And then she told me the worst part. Alara said you might try to pull something after she left. That you'd come to her new place. Maybe even break in. She wanted him to expect it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not because I didn't think Alara was capable of lying, but because I'd never given her a reason to fear me. Ever. I'd never raised my voice. Never even touched a wall in frustration. The worst thing I ever did was cry too much when I got overwhelmed. That's what she was afraid of? No. That's what she wanted someone else to be afraid of. So she could stay clean. Kala looked me in the eye. She didn't want a breakup. She wanted a narrative. And now I could feel it forming all around me, like quicksand. The note. The planted shoes. The story she'd told. If I snapped, if I even reacted, it would look like confirmation. Like I was every twisted version of myself she'd been crafting in someone else's ears. I thanked Kala. I don't even remember what I said, really. Just that she hugged me on the way out and said, whatever you do next, make sure it's the opposite of what she expects. After she left, I sat alone in the dark for hours. Not crying. Not yelling. Just planning. She wanted a story where I went off the rails. Fine. I'd give her something else entirely. I woke up around 6 a.m. The next morning, still on the floor. I hadn't moved all night, just stared at the ceiling while Alara's voice echoed in my head. I hope I find someone normal. That line wasn't just cruel. It was a seed. And if I let it grow, I'd become exactly what she wanted. The guy who unravels. But I wasn't going to unravel. I was going to clean up. I started with her closet. She always said she'd come back for her things if anything ever happened. She joked about it once, like it was a theoretical emergency. Just leave the velvet stuff in the sun. I'll know you're serious. Well, the sun was out, and the velvet was already on the lawn by 7 a.m. I packed with the efficiency of a man who finally stopped asking questions. No music, no rage, just deliberate motions. Jewelry box, taped shut. Books, all the ones with titles like Aligning with Your Higher Self and Unleash the Wild Woman, gone. Her weird herbal supplements that made the fridge smell like licorice and guilt? Bagged. But I didn't just pack her stuff. I packed Kala's too. Not her real belongings, no. Just a symbolic bundle. A scarf she once left on our coat rack. A book she lent Alara months ago. A mug with her initial on it. I put them in a box and labeled it in black Sharpie. Truth returns. Because if Kala hadn't come over that night, if she'd followed the script Alara handed her, I'd be the one unraveling right now. Not folding shirts. Not stacking boxes. Not planning. By noon, the apartment looked like a before and after shot. Her colors were gone. Her energy. Even the air felt different. Lighter. Then I did something Alara would have hated. I called her sister. We weren't close. Not anymore. But once upon a time, Jess and I got along. We were both observers in the circus of Alara's life. Always watching, never speaking. She picked up on the third ring. Lyle. Hey. I said, trying to sound casual. I figured I should let someone in the family know. Alara's gone. Jess didn't sound surprised. Not even a little. She said she might vanish, she said after a pause. Said she needed to do something bold. Of course she did. A new word to describe her escape act every time. Did she tell you what she was planning? Jess hesitated. She said if you called, I should record the call, in case you try to twist things later. I nearly laughed. There it was again, the same tactic. Build a file on me. Build a case. Stack the story before I even opened my mouth. Well, feel free, I said flatly. You can record this. I waited. She didn't. I'm not the villain, Jess, I added. But I think your sister wanted me to become one. And I just thought you should know. I'm not playing that part. There was a silence. Then Jess spoke again, quietly. She's not with that guy anymore. My heart stopped. What? She left him yesterday, she said. Apparently, he scared her. Said something weird about fixing her energy permanently. I froze. She left him? I repeated. Yeah, Jess replied. And she's not with friends either. Last message she sent said she was staying off the grid for a few days. No phone. No address. I looked at the empty boxes around me. This wasn't just a betrayal anymore. It was a disappearing act. And I had a strange, sudden thought. What if I wasn't the target? What if someone else was? The moment Jess told me Alara had left him, I felt something I didn't expect. Dread. Not relief. Not closure. Dread. Because if she ran from me to be with him, and now she was running from him too, then she wasn't escaping people. She was escaping something else entirely. I asked Jess if she had any clue where Alara might be. She said no. Just a cryptic message Alara sent yesterday. I'm not safe around either of them. Either of them. Me and him. It didn't add up. If she'd spent weeks painting me as the unstable one, why was she afraid of him now? I checked my phone for any messages. Nothing. But then I remembered something. Kala. She hadn't texted all day, which was unusual. I opened our thread. The last message from her had been the night before. Let me know if anything happens. So I called. No answer. I texted, hey, are you okay? Something's off. Still nothing. I wasn't paranoid, not yet. But my gut was doing that thing again. The thing Alara used to mock me for, looping. Connecting dots before they were dots. I sat there staring at the clock. Kala was the one person who knew everything. The only one who went off script. And now she was gone quiet too. By midnight, I couldn't sit still anymore. Kala still hadn't replied. No texts. No calls. Her phone rang 3 times, then went straight to voicemail. I wasn't close enough to her to have her parents' number, and she'd never mentioned a boyfriend. It was like she just unplugged. But the silence wasn't normal. Not after everything she told me. Not after warning me Alara had rehearsed what she'd tell police in case I snapped. I started replaying everything Kala had said in my mind, trying to make sense of the timeline. She'd said Alara used her apartment for that so-called work thing. That she thought the guy was just some fling, but something had shifted. Kala knew too much, and Alara had never been the type to let loose ends dangle. I was about to give up for the night when my phone vibrated. Unknown number. No text. Just a voicemail. I stared at it for a second, then hit play. At first, nothing. Just the sound of wind, or maybe the inside of a car. Then breathing. Quick, shallow. Then a whisper, barely audible. She thinks I'm helping her. I told her I left my charger at your place. It was Kala. Her voice was unsteady, like she was talking into her phone while trying not to be overheard. She said I need to disappear for a bit. That it's better if everyone thinks I'm mad at her. I think she's watching me. I'm sending this now in case she... The voicemail cut off. No goodbye? No explanation. Just that chilling final breath, like she dropped the phone or someone reached for it. I sat frozen, replaying it 3 more times. She never said my name, never directly addressed me. But that wasn't what haunted me. What haunted me was the possibility the message wasn't meant for me at all. She could have tapped the wrong contact. Or maybe she didn't trust her own messages anymore and was trying to scatter information like breadcrumbs, hoping someone picked it up. If Alara was keeping tabs on Kala, if she was now hiding from both me and him, then this wasn't a breakup story anymore. It was something else entirely. And it meant I wasn't the only one who'd been manipulated. I checked the voicemail metadata. The call had come from a prepaid number, untraceable, which meant Kala was using a burner, which also meant she knew Alara might be tracking her regular phone. And that confirmed one thing I didn't want to admit. Kala wasn't just trying to help me out of guilt. She was scared. And Alara? She wasn't just escaping a relationship. She was running from the mess she created and making sure the wreckage buried everyone else. I didn't sleep that night. Not because I was scared, that had passed, but because I was done letting her shape the narrative. Alara didn't get to write the ending. Not anymore. The next morning, I drove to a small coffee shop across town, one Alara hated. She once said the chairs were depressingly beige. Kala liked it though, said the blandness made it easier to think. I waited there for 2 hours. No Kala. But just as I was about to leave, a woman sat down across from me, hoodie pulled low, sunglasses on. Kala. She didn't speak right away. She just placed a small envelope on the table and slid it toward me. Inside was a flash drive. She left more than just you, she said quietly. She left messes all over. Told different lies to different people. But I made copies. Just in case. I looked at her. She's not a criminal, I said. Kala shook her head. No. But she's dangerous in ways that don't leave bruises. We sat for a while in silence. Then she smiled, just a little. You're not who she said you were. And neither am I. She stood to leave, but paused and said something I didn't expect. She told me once, if Lyle ever stops needing me, he won't love me anymore. I think that's why she sabotaged it. She thought stability was boredom. I didn't know what to say. Not then. But after she left, I walked out of that cafe lighter than I'd felt in months. And I didn't spiral. I didn't text Alara. I didn't post a dramatic call-out. I just let her go. It's been 5 months now. I moved. Got a dog. His name's Orbit. A little cosmic joke I think Alara would hate. I sleep fine. I drink better coffee. I stopped checking social media. And last week, for the first time, I didn't flinch when someone said her name in passing. You don't always get justice when someone betrays you. But sometimes, peace is justice. And I finally understand that love isn't about clinging. It's about clarity. Alara left. But I didn't lose.